So I haven't had enough time to do my Rose Room discussions or either do my multiple other shows, even my video game streaming show. And right now, I'm back at you because I have a little time. Um, the topics I'm going to talk about is the manipulation of hip hop, how the music is still being manipulated to us, being used as a weapon, not as a tool of empowerment, and how we're still being sought after through our own devices. The link to the download lifestyle and hip hop, how we're finding out now that a lot of our pioneers were involved with a lot of stuff previous, and some of them are involved with stuff that's very treacherous to this day. I'm not downplaying anybody, I'm not disrespecting anybody, but I'm saying that we're starting to really wake up and see. And then the last topic is the rulers of darkness souls, of dark souls, really, because we know we fight against those in rulers of darkness and principalities, of those that we do not know or we cannot see. These are one of the things that keep us at bay in life. What we don't know is how they keep us in a perception not to grow. You know what I mean? So yeah. I have been really truly trying to grow. As I grow, I start to see a lot of individuals who don't want to see people of our creed or color come to an empowerment as a whole. Now, when I say as a whole, I mean like certain groups, when they have empowerment, they make sure that everybody across the line in their group has a respectful, type of layer, or either I would say a platform, or either we would say the steps to get into the top of the ladder. The person that's the mother performs a task. She's deemed as the provider of the household. The father performs a task. He's deemed as the backbone and the hard worker and a provider and the necessity keeper of the household, and so forth and so on. The grandfather, the grandmother are seen as wise ones. The aunties and uncles, it's always a structure. When it comes to our culture, I kind of see that there's a lot of resentment when we try to build and have that same type of base programming. A lot of people don't want to see that. And I truly start to lose my type of, patience with some of these people, because I'm not rude, but I'm starting to see like, hey, everybody keeps saying they're our allies, they respect us, they love us, love our culture, love this and that, but they don't want us to get our houses in order. They don't want us to have a strong foundation like anyone else. It's like as if we're a TV show and they want to see the same persistence of imagery. Like they want to see the same type of diabolical or instrumental ignorance or low IQ, or either the low vibration mindset, and they want to keep that going. Like it's an entertainment to certain people. And if you decide to go past that, or perceive to have much more knowledge or information, or talk in a different manner, or try to better yourself, they get upset. Now, with the recent events that's going on in our culture, through the music, through all the things that we're seeing right now that's happening, because we've seen a gentleman come out recently, and I'm not going to say his name, because once again, this is the Rose Room discussion. I don't deal into celebrity gossip. I don't talk about women's buttock size, or their breast size, or the implants that they get, or anything that has, significance to that type of low level mindset. But this gentleman is from the Southeast, and he pretty much said what I've been saying for a long time. A lot of these artists have been manipulated and have been manipulating us through their vibrant, you feel me, artistry, and using it to keep us in a trapped type of cycle. And when we truly don't, um, like, call these people out, we don't expect anything more from them. We don't get mad when they do stuff that's out of pocket. For instance, let me break it down to you. The biggest manipulation in our music is the sexual preference of people outside of it. Um, the human trafficking, the violation of children, the raping of young women, the prostituting of young women, the degrading of people of our own race, color, and creed, the violations and the splitting of our household, the depicting women of our nationality to be low and sexual deviancies of society, and that's all they really pretty much, you know, have them are either being the hardcore, angry, you know, none take no type of shit type of woman and ready to put her foot in your ass and has no compassion. You see, this is something that we have allowed to fester in our homes, in our lifestyles, in our mindsets, and just around us. And with hip hop and music itself, pretty much hip hop being used as a weapon, because we know before when hip hop was introduced to us, it had an educational purpose of value to identify our roots, origins, our inner, creativity of who we are as a people. We found something that nobody else can grasp, and they had no type of mindset to know how to do, right? They were pretty much fascinated by it. And to this day, they still are. They go to the concerts, they pay for all the money, they buy the merch. Whoever's popular can set the trends. They can do everything that creates empowerment just through the music itself, right? But the manipulation has brought in a lot of violence, a lot of sexuality deviancy, a lot of hatred for your own race, your own color, a lot of discrimination towards your own color. And the same people that you call supremacists, you're doing the same supremacy to your own people in the same manner, but you're manipulating through your music as if you want to justify it to be a norm. So when you're saying something like that is a norm, to call somebody a fuck nigga or some type of a broke bitch or a baddie or whatever this type of things, the lingo, or a weirdo, or these type of things are used because your value of yourself is pretty much a mirror of how you feel about others, because you don't see yourself succeeding truly spiritually in the society. You see yourself only limited to what the lifestyle depicts of you and the imagery that is shown of you. And for you to have all this knowledge and information and self-awareness and have all these different groups that tell you black empowerment, or either you are a king or a queen, you still depict yourself sometimes in these type of manner or manifestations of ignorance and destruction towards each other, right? So the manipulation of music shows you a lot. Back in the days when people of our nationality were in a poorer state and we had to work together, we did not depict each other as a person having lesser as the problem, right? Because we all came from lesser. We still live in poverty to the majority of our people are still in the lesser position, right? But what we have learned now is a style of sacrificing our own kind based upon a position and disposition as if it's a cultural thing of a value to have the same priceless items that we call made by superiority, or those who are practicing supremacy, who own these companies. We're dying out here to harm each other to get hold of their empowerment, meaning their clothing, their wear, their attire, their lifestyle, their whatever it is that they have created. You're pretty much pushing yourself into a position to increase that empowerment of their mindset of superiority over people that look like you. And then when you get to the top, we always hear the same thing. At the top is always lonely. Yeah, at the top is lonely because you have destroyed everybody at the bottom who has helped you get there based upon the same ideology and Western ideology that has caused us the most problems. Think about it. Since our culture has been locked away and we do not have all the information, ever since what we would call the mud floods, ever since what we would call black towns being flooded, ever since what we would call multiple places in history being erased, we can go back to Black Wall Street and multiple other places that have been disintegrated. And, you know, we get a small apology, but when it comes to the truth of knowing who we are, even here, we are told that we are not really from here. The music itself, even through the music, we're told we're from a country that we have no knowledge of. But the country that we're being told that we're from was named by a person who also tricked us in the same ideology of supremacy. So think about that for a moment. A person names a country where people that look like you and have the same texture of hair like you, that are warring, that gets their manufacturing and clothing from a place that belittles them and pretty much controls all their economic resources and has bought into their country, and still have them warring to this day. And there's catastrophic problems going on there with drugs, and they're fighting against each other and also fighting against you. And the same person that manipulated them comes here to manipulate you and tell you that you're them and you guys are both them, but all the information is not mapping, it's not adding. But through the music, through the culture, through things that has been used, like hip hop music, we have thought and figured that this is the norm. Until we get a wake up call, we started to see information, we started to question. One of the biggest things that I questioned a lot is the temple, what we would call a actual pyramid in California. Now, if you don't know about this, there's a lake with a pyramid that's sitting in the lake. Now, from their perception, they want to tell you that it's been there for a certain amount of time and they built it. Improbable. Okay. First thing of all, you can't find any pictures of them building it. Ever. The stone itself dates back to a longer or way predated purpose before certain type of stonery was used here. So it just lets you see the media and this so-called society of entertainment has used these type of things to weaponize and to target us, right? And one of the things that they use the most is our own culture and our own music. Now, like I was saying, when we seen when it first came out, it was for a purpose for us to build knowledge. Now it's a purpose for us to look like we are idiotic in destruction of attacking each other for the same items that we claim are run by the same people who practice the supremacy and own the companies. But for some reason, we're dying and itching and ready to harm each other to get these products and to belittle each other when we get the products of those who we claim are the supremacists. So the music itself has been used to glorify a lot of destruction. Once again, drug usage. I talked about this on a previous show. It ramped up. It went to the highest peak now. Now we're seeing forms of what we call green fentanyl. We have pink cocaine. We have fentanyl. We have ISO. We have so many different drugs. They bring a new one out almost every 6 months. You know, it's like an artist coming out with a song, and then we see the artistry industry itself. They then will use the same drugs, and they will then try to promote it. But the person that's talking about it will barely use the drug, but will want you to think that it's cool to do. And this has been a true pattern of what we've seen when it comes to fast food. None educational information is not given out about what we're consuming, but the artists themselves have pretty much funded it. We can see with the gentleman who had the burger at McDonald's. Now remember, most of this meat is mystery meat, just like at Taco Smell. It's mystery meat. You have no clue what it is, but you had every entertainer got a deal to promote these type of foods. And as we get to now, where everybody's becoming a much more sufficient, intelligent person, they have information on their phone. Now you can get education upon what you're eating. So if I'm going to consume this French fries at McDonald's, I can see that these fries take 6 months to have the fumes that are toxic removed from them before they can be fried at an actual McDonald's for me to consume. And if I put them in my refrigerator for 6 months, they'll never rot. But through a artist that is in the hip hop community, because he displays it and his clothes are tight and he looks like a very strong person, and all the females talk about how his, abs look good and his body looks good and his this and that, and it's just really fakeness. You know what I mean? And the average person, there's people walking around here look better than him. But for some reason, when they see this person on TV, they lose all control. But probably 5 years from that, before that, previously, this man was considered an ugly duckling. But when money comes into his pocket, he considered the most attractive person on the planet. And now when you get close to him, you lose control. You can't even fathom how to think. It just lets you see the manipulation of the system itself when it comes to these things that are used, that are truly diabolically demonic. You know what I mean? The income of the cash system is something that we can see, money. Before, like I said, when we come from a community where we would grow food and we would share with each other, and it was considered to be something of a great, respect, to show empowerment and growth with each other and strength. Now we're in a community to where we hoard from each other and hide. We go to the same people or the same individuals who have degraded us for years and befriend them. And when it comes to them in a whole group, they will not let you in. When it comes to them being with those who are like them. So, once again, we're looking at the music being used to target us. I said in the previous show, the N-word is used by everybody now. Slang terms are used by everybody now. Your culture is being inappropriately attached to, now attacking and manipulating you in society. I watched this one guy, okay? He was an artist, right? He was trying to pass around his music. And I seen a guy that he passed it to. And this guy, instead of giving him congratulations, he said, "Oh man, it sounds like what's the name? What's the name's better than that, He degraded him right away, but he used microaggressions are pretty much telling. Now, the same guy that was doing that, I seen him with another person, and a person introduced him to their art, and oh, that's magnificent, that's extraordinary, you got a lot of talent. So I said to myself, oh, was it because of the identity of the person, the origins of where they were from? Was it because of the superiority of the thought process that this young man had, that, oh, whatever you're doing is not really of any value because anybody can do it now? So your culture has been manipulated and it's been used through your own music that's supposed to empower you. But now everybody has a hold of it, and they can now depict themselves in a higher position based upon the income that they have. See, before it came, it was really true talent. It was really true skill. It was people had to vouch for you. It was a respect thing. Now you have taken it to a part to where there is no respect. You don't have to have any talent. You just have to have money. And money and manipulation is the biggest aspect. That's why you see those before you who claim to be the pioneers or some others have sold their souls to be involved with it just to stay afloat. So your own music is targeting you now. The same thing that was made to help you and give you nutrition is the same thing that is pretty much attacking you. You see what I mean? Like, too much sugar is not too good. Too much of anything is not good for you. You know what I mean? So I'm starting to really understand why and what's the situation. Like I stated, I was around a gentleman right in class, and me being the only person of my nationality in the class, because multiple other people dropped the class because they didn't want to challenge. And letting you know, I'm not the smartest of all people. I never depicted myself as, never told anybody I was smarter than anybody. But me learning, it irritated this person. So this person was trying to find every single little way to use microaggressions against me. Asking me if I understood what I'm reading as if I don't know how to read. Asking me, do I know what I'm doing, as if I don't know how to walk to where I'm going to or get to my class on time and can't read an actual watch at a time. Just coming with every way he can to depict me as a person that has no knowledge of anything, because I'm not the greatest of understanding this type of terminology or this new education that I'm finding, which we all learn every day. There's no person out here that does not learn on a daily basis. This is called life. But when I see people, like I stated to you, when they have a foundation in something and they have a structure that they want to keep, and the structure does not really put you in a perspective as being a part of it, they will find all these different little ways to keep you out of that picture. They don't want you to be seen as anything good because they're comfortable with manipulating and using these devices that you have created, that they have control of now, to now attack you. And the gentleman wanted to talk to me about music and just so many other little rude things, as if, telling me in a hint, like, oh, you need to go do some music. You don't really need to be here to educate yourself to learn anything. You should just be rapping and dancing and entertaining me. So, long story, get to the point. In a nutshell, the gentleman was in the classroom, coming in late, always late, doesn't really care, just bad mannerism, doesn't respect any of the classmates to come in during the process of the teacher giving, her, lesson plan to us, teaching us her lesson plan, or either just, giving us details on certain things that we should learn or know about. Doesn't even care, has no respect, but wants everybody to respect him. late, misses classes, doesn't show up. This gentleman wanted to tell me about how I should put my mask on, not knowing I don't have a cold and not knowing why I'm wearing a mask. Didn't care to ask, didn't care to bother. Just wanted to tell me what I should do, like as if I'm not a human being. But based upon his thought process of him listening to hip hop music, he figured that he can communicate with me in some type of rude mannerism and think that I was supposed to react to him. I told him no. And then he tried to manipulate it and lie. And come to find out, couldn't handle his own work and got up and left. Because he was embarrassed in front of everybody. Because the real true him was shown. And that's what I'm saying to you. With our music and our culture, we have made people too comfortable with them thinking that they can talk or come to us at any type of manner and use these type of manipulations to belittle us based upon the artistry or what's taught in the music itself. And them having access to it, they can use it now as a weapon against us. So the manipulation is there. You know, you can use certain things for a purpose of empowerment, or you can use it for a purpose of degrading or attacking a person. And that's what I wanted to tell you about that. It's being used now to attack us on a lot of different ways, you know. And one of the biggest ways is this so-called demonic mindset, these concepts, this income, these things that they make you paranoid of. They'll tell you that the world is running out of money, but as you look around you, do you see them stopping manufacturing cars at any time? Do you see them shutting down all the stores? Do you see all the gas stations going away? Do you see all the law enforcement or agencies of the government that do all the, you know, military going away anytime soon? So when people tell you these things, be prepared that manipulation is one of the biggest tools. And with the music that we have, we're seeing that it's used to manipulate us. Even during the time of the pandemic, we had artists making songs telling you to go and get that stuff from them. And later on, as you can see now, these people are not even being held accountable after they made songs telling you to go get that stuff from them. So that you see, there's not a lot of real true people out here anymore. And manipulation is being used. And we have to really stand up. If you're truly real in this day and age and you see the truth about what's going on, stand up, say something. Don't be afraid. Because you know these individuals out here are not afraid to manipulate and use you in any which way they can to get to what they want to get to. And just because they look a certain way, or act a certain way, or talk a certain way, does not mean that they are truly who they really are. Costumes are easy to buy. Anybody can wear one. You know, Halloween is coming up soon. So those people have been masquerading for years on this planet in many different forms. Even the devil himself does not show his true identity, or most of his so-called little minions that run around here. So it lets you see a lot of these people are people that you need to really truly stand on guard from. And manipulation is one of the biggest tools that's being used to target us through consumption, the consumer ads, the cultural aspect of us stepping up, believing in things that are not really true, supporting people that don't really support us. As we can see within this state that I live in, you know, they lost $24 billion. They told us that they couldn't pay us, I think it was $250,000 in the money that's back owed to our people from the slave era, which they've been paying everybody else. And as you can see, all these people were receiving kickbacks, stealing money, taking money. We calculated up to like, I think it was like, they said up to like, was it 14, 15, 16? I think 17 or 18 billion dollars just taken from one state. One state. And half of it came from the state that I live in. And these same people tell you that they have no money to give to you or to the people that's outside. But they keep telling you the world's going to end and the music itself is depicting everything is bad. And you see what I mean? These artists are telling you certain things, but look at how they're living. If the world's going to end and everything is falling apart and it's the government's fault, how these same cold artists that keep making these songs keep living a good, prosperous life? Do you see their teeth falling out? Do you see them outside begging for money? Don't let these people use you in a manipulation game, because they're nothing more but pawns being used in a large scale of demonic supremacy. That's it. And like I said, the same people that'll tell you one thing will do another thing. So be very, very aware. And sometimes when you're looking at the picture, look at all the details. Look at who it's made by, how it was made, what was used to make it. What's the artist's name? When did he make it? You know, what was the canvas like before he made it? How did he put the canvas together? What colors did he put in? How did he add them? How did he blend them? What was his idea? What was his ideology behind that? Where did he come from? These are just things you need to truly look into. Because manipulation in our music and our culture, especially in hip hop, it's used on a bigger scale. And the scale is so big, we don't even truly understand the means of it. Like I said, hip hop is a $5 billion a year engine. And believe me, the people behind it are some dark-hearted soul people now. So be very wary. With that said, this is the Rose Room discussion. I'm going to go into my next topic. The next topic is the link to the down low life and how that's used in the same music. I'll be right back after this slapper.
Here's a little story that must be told about two cool brothers that were put on hold. They tried to hold us back for fortune and fame. They destroyed the crew and they killed the name. They tried to step on the ego and walk on the pride. But true blue brothers stand side by side through thick and thin from beginning to end. This battle we lost, but the war we'll win. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, you ready? Yeah, man. Still the fucking king.
Get money, nigga. Oh yeah. Dedicate this one to all the hustlers that get money. I see.
I get it.
All right. This is the Rose Room discussion. That track is called I Get It. It is actually on SoundCloud and multiple other music streaming platforms. And I think it's actually on one of my albums too. And yes, I do make instrumental hip hop. I explain that to a lot of people in multiple shows that somebody challenged me to make something that was positive and not follow the norm, and which I did. And I stuck to my guns, and I'm gonna still keep pushing that. Um, but yeah, back to the situation at hand. The link to the down low lifestyle. Um, I had somebody that I'm close to come out, and which I already knew that the person was pretty much in that lifestyle. I just was waiting for that person to confirm what they were really doing, which I can already see through their body language when I went to go see this person. I can see through their demeanor of how they're talking, their mindset, the fact that they were still trying to promote something that they couldn't even handle them damn selves, and they're still needing the support. And I always thought to myself that has to be a very feminine type of move for a man, because me myself, like I said to you before, told you many a times, I've been homeless. I've been on the streets by myself. I had to pick myself up. I went to a homeless shelter within probably a month or two. I got two jobs, got a car, um, got back with my family member. Uh, that person got a job, got a place. And like I stated, from that time, I've been thanking the Most High, and I just keep giving that the glory to the King of heaven and earth, the Most High, the Messiah, Heavenly Father, Most High God. I give him the glory. You know, from helping me to just keep pushing every day. That's why I don't stop. I get up every day to make sure I do what I got to do. And I just thought it was very feminine for a grown man to always need some help from a woman and to take from her pocket all the time and don't want to go out and do anything for herself and try to act like a hardcore person, but can't even handle a hardcore life. And like I said, when this person was truly showing their colors, I can kind of see that the person was really on that down low lifestyle. And the people that he's hooked up to, why they never really got along with me, because they all were on that down low lifestyle. And since they were living that down low lifestyle, they try to depict themselves as being real hard. And then, this is why they always run in a group. You can't catch them by themselves. This is why they're always doing something. And this is why they're not really good at what they're doing. And it's just really sad because the person tried to depict themselves as something so bad, and that they hated, like, talked about people that were LGBTQ. And now you see that this person is, and also multiple people that connect with them are. So it just looks really clownish now that the person did this and tried to perceive themselves to be something that they weren't. And I can just see right through them. And in the music industry, we've seen, like I said, the gentleman from Atlanta. He said that multiple people from that area, they all get down like that and to get to that industry. Another person, a gentleman from down south, said the same thing. He had to suck some other man's genitals to get a deal and let the man go to his backside. We've seen multiple other people that were involved with Disney and multiple other places that are involved in the music industry, telling you about how somebody played and tickled their, pickle and did multiple things with them in the back rooms. We've seen it where people have took oaths on, television. Well, not television, I would say on multiple streaming platforms that have been played on television, and how they have been kissing, doing a lot of multiple rude things, telling you out front that they like playing with somebody else's butt, and they'll go up in somebody's butt and telling you in point blank, even in the songs, telling you. Yeah, I know it's you, Samuel. I know you want me to stop telling the information. I can't.
Please stop! Stop, Michael!
I can't, Samuel. So yeah. it's really truly real that, we have a lot of people out here that are living a very different lifestyle from what you perceive and think that they're living. And I found this to be very fascinating. Like for the last couple of years, I've been on an adventure. Like I said to you, I worked for firefighting. I worked in different types of form of work. So it had me travel from different states, doing different works, doing different types of jobs, from tree falling to park maintenance to city and county, to firefighting, because I went and followed my skill set and took the courses and classes, got certifications, got certificates, and it led me to work. And during this time, I found a lot of people I thought were real hardcore people were living a different lifestyle from what they were projecting. For one instance, I was in the city of Seattle for a small portion of time. There was two artists that were caught with drugs. One was caught with some type of, I think he was some type of person who committed some type of heinous crime of shooting somebody. Another artist. Do you know that I seen these artists in that city, like in the flesh? And I said to myself, but according to these artists, they were in prison. They were in state prison and federal prison. So I said, wow. And then I started to do my research. And I started to find out all these informant programs, these police informant things where they send people places. And I found out that Washington State was one of the places they sent most of the police informants. So they will have you perceive that the person's locked up in the feds in somewhere in some secluded place when they're really in another state wandering around. It was also a series that was done in, I think, the state of Illinois. And they had a series about how multiple groups of people in these type of gangs would commit a heinous crime, tell on somebody. It would move them to a whole different place. They would commit another crime and then tell, and they get moved right back to the system and just play with the system and be informants and just doing this and causing problems. That's when I got the, idea of neighborhood of nuisance. Like, are they releasing these type of people back on the streets to cause these type of problems, these issues? You see what I mean? So I said, and then a lot of these dudes were, on the down low, because one of the dudes I thought was a real hardcore gangster rapper, he was in a car with a dude that I seen throughout the city that was a LGBTQ homosexual guy. So I said, wow, this is strange. And the reason why I seen the dude, because I worked for a company, and the company was a company that did like, they had these stores. They're like, how do I say, they're like CVS, but they called a different name in another state. So I would help go on these little things to drop off the goods to the stores. And one day, as I'm with one of the dudes, they take me out because they wanted to see if I wanted to do that position at the company, if I wanted to be a driver and to drop off the items for the store products, or did I want to work in a warehouse? So, as I go, I see the dude, he's with the LGBT flag, and they're, flagging it in the area that we dropped it off is a known area for people that are in that lifestyle. And as we would do the job, he would come back and this dude would be around there. And this is where he was like pretty much a presence in that area. So as one day I'm going to another side of town, I'm walking down the street. And as I'm walking down the street, I look into a vehicle. And I look into the vehicle, I see this gangster rapper with the same guy. I said, why would a gangster rapper be with a homosexual man in the car? So it just let me know a lot of this stuff that's going on. Then I got the understanding of how most men there are sagging, came from a lifestyle of being in jail with another man that would control another man's private area. And then the whole concept of how this stuff married into the streets and how it's linked in, and it started to unravel. And then with the recent case of the very popular producer, entrepreneur, person who owns the music mobile big company in on the East Coast and had the house on the West Coast, had the house in Miami, had the house in New York, and
They will take from you your innocence.
there you go. Pretty much. And how he was able to manipulate women and beat them, and sexual deviancies, and semen on his chest from another man. I just kind of seen what it was, and like I was telling you before, the manipulation of hip hop music through certain artists that was with that same dude, and how they were talking about sexual things that didn't make a lot of sense for a straight male to practice or even to think about, and how it's all linking. And then now we can see through the human trafficking, the prostitution, the child endangerment, the mindset of a lot of people in the society, because they perceive if an artist can get away with this, they can. That's why now when we look, we see a high rate of mothers taking the lives of their children. But we listen to the music that's depicted that they're listening to, and how these artists, I don't give a fuck, I'll kill a fuck, nigga, their mindset. Then when we meet these people, they're nothing like what they're talking about. And they're saying, oh, I'm doing this for an art form and this and that. But they don't have no clue how they're manipulating others through their own conversation. Like, words are weapons. They're like daggers. Stuff that comes out of your mouth is very dangerous, because you can project the upliftment of people, the upliftingness of the persons, or you can project the destruction and the downfall of persons through your conversation of what you're saying and how you're using it, and how you're, at that moment pushing that little button on a person, because that can cause a person to panic, jump, or snap. And it showed me the manipulation is real, and how it's linked to a lot of the deviancies of sexuality, sexual preference, sexual identity, and how a lot of these people are lost spiritually. You're hearing a lot of people coming out saying that they are bisexual, this, and they were sucking men's peanuts for a certain amount of time, and and now they don't do it no more. And you're like, what? You never knew this person was in it, but you can see the telltale signs already, the link. You can see how this person acts, how they're too flamboyant, how they're not really manly. They don't want no scars on them, or, they don't touch me. They're very, but in their conversation, I'll shoot a motherfucker, I'll kill a nigga, bust his head, but when you see them on the streets, they're nothing like this. They're like very soft looking. And you perceive to yourself, wow, this gentleman pushes this type of personification like he's a damn MMA fighter, a G.I. Joe superstar, or a military veteran, a Navy SEAL, like he's a combat trained, and this person is none of the above. This person barely can hit 50 push-ups. This person wears orthopedic shoes. This person's like 5'4". What I'm saying to you, the manipulation and projection of things are very, very used in this society today. And the link to the down low lifestyle and a lifestyle of manipulation is really, truly being used through the music. A lot of women are coming out now telling you how they'll do stuff to a man sexually. A lot of women are telling you that they'll have sex with other women. A lot of women are telling you about how, they'll have sex with about multiple dudes. Telling you how to eat their ass. It's very vulgar And the lifestyle is just basically used. And then every time you see a interview, the person is telling you about how their sexuality is everything for likes, attention, and to get more people and to manipulate young youth or people who don't understand or don't have a strong will of mindset. And these people sometimes are being misled and they really truly believe in these people because some of us don't truly know no better. I was at that same mindset too. I walked around here really thinking that, that this was the lifestyle. Like I grew up in the inner city projects. I thought, this is the only thing I'm going to see from here to the corner store, from that turf to this turf, from these two beefing. I have to figure out what I'm going to join. From that beefing, I got to figure out who I'm going to beef with. From there on, I got to make a name for myself. I got to be a nuisance to my own people in a neighborhood who really are struggling and been through all kind of catastrophic stuff. And now I need to go there and become another demon to bring more rage and destruction to them based upon the manipulation of the music, the society, the supremacy, and the structure that we live in. Until once again, like I told you, the Most High touched me. And I felt like, I had to be for real with it. Because the Most High is one of the realest things in all existence. And looking at people for what they are, you got to really see it now. The telltale signs are there. We had a lot of people now, we've seen our child molesters coming out. Information about them, entertainers who were in hallways with young girls, who had young girls coming to their rooms, being sexual deviants, taking young girls to hotel rooms and having sex with them. And now these young girls, after years later on, they're grown women who have STDs and children by these dudes. Now they want to get their money. Now they want to tell their story. So this is a really wake up to things that are going on right now. And like I said, we're just getting out of the Aquarius, but everything is being revealed. We've seen a lot of multiple people who told you they had tons of money. They didn't even have no money. They were sitting there selling tickets to people and not even showing up to the shows because they had to recoup because they've been broke, because the music is not booming like it used to no more. You see what I mean? Because the companies are making the money, but the artists are not really making it no more. That's why manipulation is one of the biggest things now that's being used. And to manipulate people into anything to sign over is one of the biggest tricks the devil's been doing for years. You're dealing with a person with 1 trillion years of game. And what is the devil's biggest trick? To manipulate you to make you believe he doesn't exist while he's right in front of your face. So, the lifestyle of the down low lifestyle has always been connected to the music. The clothing, the dressing. If you look at some of the artists who they hang around, they'll tell you in their DVDs, their movies, whatever they're doing, they're telling you right there who they connected with, best friends with. You'll be like, why would this guy be a gangster that kills people in his own neighborhood hanging out with a guy that plays with each other's dicks? Does it make any sense to you? It really doesn't. You got two grown men writing poetry love letters of destruction to each other and causing neighborhoods to have mass feuds and bloodshed while they take pictures and hang out with a guy that puts a dick on another guy's head on a daily basis. And you feel me, gyrates his asshole. So it lets you see what is the true manipulation here. What is being used? How are we being caught up in this? And how is this being not seen as a tool of destruction. Not saying the music itself is no good, but I'm saying that, we do get knights, warriors, kings, rulers, parliaments. We can go on governments, and sometimes they got to be the throne. Sometimes you have to dethrone the government and bring in a new one. Sometimes you have to get rid of the king and find a better one. Sometimes the knights don't fight as good no more because they gotten old and they gotten lazy. So now you got to get new knights that are stronger and much more wittier and faster and better built and prepared to fight. Sometimes the old guard has to move for the new guard. Sometimes it's good for change. Change comes, seasons comes. You know that, right? From summer comes winter. From winter comes spring. Nothing stays the same. And for some reason, we have been complacent with just thinking that it's okay to keep things the same as long as this money engine is coming in. Which I commend everybody for making tons of money, but at what cost have you done it? What is the long range output of this? What's going to happen in the future from this? Will it benefit us? Are we going to buy land back with it? Are we going to control our destiny with it? Are we going to keep using it to target us? I seen a guy that was on the internet. Now this guy is a Caucasian male, right? He was raised in a very prominent home. Tons of money. His family have all kind of connections and, law enforcement and everything, right? Man graduated college, has a big house, lives in the most luxurious neighborhood. But when a bunch of black males came together and said they wanted to stop violence in their neighborhood for children, do you know this man mocked them with no remorse, disrespected them, called them soft and weak, and just made fun of them and just went on rants and talking about how weak and fake they are? And you got to think about this. This is a man who's never lived in a impoverished life in his existence. He does not know what it is to eat to eat hot dogs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He doesn't know what it is to make sugar water. This man doesn't know what it is to make a mayonnaise sandwich or a bologna and cheese sandwich for a whole month. He doesn't know what it is for your family to get a Thanksgiving turkey, have to live off of that for 6 months, and you and your brothers go into the refrigerator while roaches is inside of there. Y'all got to move them off and make sandwiches for a whole damn almost 6 months just to survive. This man don't know what it is to not have no furniture in his house. This man don't know what it is to be beefing with people in your neighborhood and they shooting through your window and they come to your door trying to stab through your door and you and your family blocking him off about to die almost. He has no fucking clue. But yet and still to him, it was funny. And he felt it was a joke to see a bunch of grown men come together to do something that was righteous. But that's what I was telling you about the manipulation of the culture of the music. How they're so comfortable of using it now to attack you. And they can justify it based upon what we justify what we do to each other. And then it's linked to so much different lifestyles and manipulation. That's why they get empowered over it. And that's why they feel like they can do it, because they rule in the darkness with no souls. They feel it's an easy thing to do because you soulless, you don't like yourself. You don't like him because he looks like you, because he looks a different way. Or he has less than you, or he has this less than you, or that less than you. Think about it. If slaves in the slavery days would kill each other because one got his leg chopped off or the other one almost got hung, where would we be at today? If these people didn't fight through all that to make you stronger, to build you up, to make you be able to endure the stuff that you go through. If their stories was not told that they had to go through this to get to a certain level, to pretty much walk while you run, how would you have even made it if they never even created the steps or made the damn course for you to run on? You just still be stuck in time. So it's letting you see we have taken a lot of stuff for granted, but their manipulation through all of this stuff, sexuality, this destruction, everything, it's truly, it's chaos, chaos and confusion that they pretty much own. I'm not saying, once again, I'm not saying give up your pen. I'm not saying still don't write about you being a real one, because there's real gangsters out there that's real. I'm just saying to you, we don't need everybody to be one. That's illogical. Like I told my family member, if everybody's a damn king, who's going to be the damn warriors? You can't have about 4,000 kings, because kings don't do fucking warrior shit. Kings sit on the throne. So if he's a king, you're a king, they're a king, then who the fuck is the servants? Who the fuck is the jesters? Who the fuck is the, you see what I mean? You gotta have order. You gotta have a pattern of something that is built up to make an actual foundation. You just can't have a bunch of fucking knights running around and no damn king, no damn order, no nothing. But that's what I'm saying to you. They see that. And when they see that, they use that to manipulate us. And then they dress, act, talk, mimic, get in, and feel like they can talk to you in any manner using that. And then what we have done, we have opened the door to other people's lifestyles. And their lifestyles depicted as stuff that is sick. Once again, we know about the buck breaking. People tell you that was going on in other countries, but I don't see no damn anywhere, no damn Haiti. I don't see no damn Jamaica. I don't see it no damn Caribbeans. I don't see it nowhere, no Belize. I don't see it nowhere, pretty much no in other places. I don't know where it's going on. I just know that a lot of the sexual deviancy came from those who pretty much enslaved us. And as you can see in this society, the people who control that whole lifestyle is not us. So, them being control of the industry, that you see why it's linked in. Because these same people who own the industry also own the incarceration camps. And those camps promote nothing but that lifestyle. Because you got men in there who are known to be, bandits of that type of mindset, And there's stories in history of people. They can tell you. They're all on YouTube. It's a lot of dudes on there telling you about the bandits and how when you come there, they prey on you. I did something for when I was in LA. And when I got in there, within the first night or the second night, I had to fight. These dudes wanted me to take my damn clothes off. So it just lets you see there's people out there that really truly get down like this and they get empowerment. But they call themselves gangsters. Now I thought to myself, how the hell are you, a grown ass man, wanting to see another man get naked and then go up in his bottom? And then get out and talk all this gangster stuff and you don't even know if you're infected. So it's just really, it's really the mindset. All this stuff is linked together. And the ones who are linking it are the ones that are on top. Because they practice it them damn selves. You see what I mean? And we know that they're practicing it. Because it has not been unproven. We can see from this point on that it's really, really deep. But I can't really, be the one to say I'm perfect neither. But I never said I was. But at least I'm trying to wake some of those people up to let them have a better perspective. If you give a person the tools to go fish, they'll know how to fish for themselves. If you never give them the tools to fish, they'll depend on you. And if they depend on you, if you fall, they fall. So all I want to do is give people the tools to pick and choose where to go fish for themselves. You don't have to fish over here. You don't have to go over there with them. You can make your own damn boat. You can go off somewhere else and find your own damn pond way off and who knows where and get the best fish in history. So give people an option. That's all I'm saying to you. Some of these kids, they deserve an option. They don't deserve the shit that we had to go through. Because this shit is not for the faint of heart. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these people are not built for this, bro. They really, truly ain't. And I think it's that time to not to mislead people no more. And I don't know if other people are tired of this shit, really. I'm kind of tired of it. I don't see it being productive anymore. I just see it only benefiting a small few, while others are pretty much falling to the wayside. And they're trying to keep up with something that's not really real at all. So with that said, I'm going to get into my last and final, topic. The rulers of dark souls. I'm trying to get a little deep with this, but I'm going to link this all in. And then I'm going to be done with my Rose Room discussion. I appreciate you listening. I'm going to let you listen to this Slapper Slumper while I go and get this next topic ready.
A ninja soar on this track like a black condor when a photo explore with mobs galore, jumping out, letting my feet stump the concrete floor. On my way through the casino front door with hoes, why I'm off of the no dose, peeping out straight game and how shit goes, cause I'm a player.
Don't talk, just listen.
Anderson Silver. I'm the rap version of Anderson Silver. Anderson Silver. Anderson Silver.
All right, I'm back. MLR Rose with the Rose Room discussion. You was hearing some of my remixes and mixes I done, and some old vocals when I was younger, and some things I put together just for fun, just for people's enjoyment, because it's always good to have fun with the music. But sometimes in the music, everything cannot be seen as, something of positive energy to others when it's a origins of a dark story. And when I say that, You know, a lot of this music comes from certain places where we create it. Some of us create it for a fun purpose, for you to have a good time. Some people create music for a purpose for you to get a better understanding of life. Some people create music because they want you to not care about life. Some people create music because they want you to get an energetic part of life. And some people create music because they want you to see the dark sides of life. So music itself is a artistic tool. And just like an artiste, everybody has their own way of creating it. Some people may create it horrifying, some people may create it comical, and so forth and so on, etc. So what I wanted to talk about was the rulers of dark souls. So when I say dark souls, I'm telling you pretty much that the people that control the mass of everything pretty much that happens here in this place that we live in, called the United Snakes of America. Because I say that because I believe when I say snakes that we're ran by some type of reptilian unknown type of entities that we don't know nothing about, and other unknown aspects of rulers of the darkness and demonic forces that we don't really too much concept or can't really comprehend, and that's my opinion. Other people don't believe that, but like I said, I believe that there's unclean spirits and unclean spirituality here. And if you look at a lot of the practices that are done here, like I keep preaching this on every one of my shows, um, the web for the dark side is still up. You know what I mean? So at any time they can get rid of that web whenever they wanted to. But for some reason that dark web is still up. Just like, a lot of these pornography sites are still up. And every few months they catch more people and more people here that are interested in all these things that are just out of pocket. So who's really ruling this whole perception of everything? So who's really the rulers of this whole construction? Who's allowing everything to go on? Some people would say this, some people would say that. My perception is that we deal with individuals that are unknown in places that have power that we don't even truly fathom, and to see that the music can be turned against you through the empowerment of funds, and with them funds would get you to talk about the most demonic, sick, evil, twisted, destructive things against your own people who are struggling, and then to have you live a perverted, twisted lifestyle that you promote. Who do you think is controlling and ruling all this? Who do you think gets empowerment from this? Who do you feel is benefiting the most from this? Let me pick this right there. It's like quick. Let me just peek this little curtain back for you real quick, and let me just let you see it. Once again, this show is based on entertainment purposes. The opinions that I talk about, or the conversations or discussions, are from a theoretical, experimental, and an educational and experience standpoint. So do not take this to heart. This is just a discussion, a conversation, just me talking. So, once again, who do you think benefits from this? If people keep saying society is going to ish and the society nowadays ain't like how it used to be and people ain't nicer, who do you think is benefiting from it that keeps changing? What makes the society keep changing into a shitty type of mindset from a much more constructive, peaceful, and energetic and a plentiful mindset? What and who would benefit from that? What rulers would get the empowerment from this? And when we look at this, we see what? The society having problems. Who dictates that? We see what? The children having mental problems. We see what? Who benefits from that? We see what? The food that we are intaking has multiple different problems with it. Who's benefiting from all this? The air quality is problematic. The water has multiple issues lingering that's causing problems in different places. We see the ground itself being affected by certain chemicals or toxins that are problematic. We see the environment itself going through a mass crisis to where it's a global pandemic or epidemic that could affect all different countries from the levels of rising waters. Who benefits at all this? Why this goes on, we see people partying and dancing like shit ain't even happening at all. We see events still going on like nothing's never happened. We see your favorite teams out there, people still cheering, oh yeah, go, let's go, let's go. But the fucking environment is just falling apart right around you. Who benefits from all of this? Who's being empowered from this? What makes you truly believe why your health itself is not getting better? Why your body is gaining more weight? Why you're stressing? You can't sleep. You can't get that nice house with a white picket fence. You can't reach that dream of getting a better body, a better vehicle. You wanted a man and not children. You wanted children that be perfect, but you can't get that house. But you're spending money on a daily basis to fit in with all these norms. Why all this stuff is playing around you, and every day new songs are coming out with more manipulation telling you about everything, and they're from different genres of R&B to pop to alternative to this to that to rock to blah 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 to hip hop, telling you about a lavish lifestyle that they're living. And all you're doing is stressing yourself out to keep afloat, just to join in and act like everything around you is not falling apart. Isn't that the biggest manipulation you can ever go through in your existence? To sit there and to look at yourself and say nothing's wrong while your arm is falling off? To say that your lifestyle hasn't changed based upon what you are asphyxiated on and the imagery that is being pumped through your television, social media sites, your cell phones, through your ear, through the music you're listening to, through the culture, through society, to what they celebrate. Through now, you want to even change your sexuality based upon it being a trend to get likes, to get people to like you, to get friendship, because if you don't, you're going to be left out in the cold. Who benefits from all of this? Who rules all of this? Who do you think is going to be the biggest beneficiary? I apologize, I got tongue twisted. Of all of this, the rulers of darkness. Those that are in places that we cannot see. We don't really comprehend. You know, I said this to somebody recently today. I said, what if we really live in a society where we are the souls that's supposed to be with the Creator, but these individuals that live in these so-called caverns are, I would say, these places that are hidden, because you know they got these so-called tunnels and facilities that are in mountains that have, and underground bunkers and places of that nature that have extravagant, you know, buildings and structures, and they eat good food in there and they got food delivered to them. What if these people are just pretty much playing us and benefiting from our destruction and promoting our destruction while they don't even really live around us and been manipulating us with every single thing to get power? And they have had us or those that look like us sign contracts to help them keep the manipulation through music, lifestyle, mindset, concept, and everything else to keep being projected while they hide off in the beautiful places that are breathtaking and get the natural best of everything while we really don't have nothing. And we sit here and fight amongst each other for the scraps. But we never really want to see past the veil. They tell you it's a wall around us, right? But if the person tell you that there's no wall around us and they're living good and they keep getting money, you don't know where the money's coming from. They tell you that the money's running out. They don't have no food, but every year they get fatter and look better while you starve and get less and get more stressed and barely can make it. Who do you think really is truly benefiting? Remember I told you, the old guard has to go for the new guard to come in. If you keep allowing these individuals to dictate to us who we are and what we are, how we ever know what we can and what we truly can become? You'll never know because we're scared to go past that wall. We're scared to see what's in the next room or on the other side. We have allowed people to dictate to us and manipulate us through all this stuff that they control and to change our lifestyles, mindsets, concepts, feelings, emotions, to put people above us that have nothing special about them. We're damn near worshiping nothing. But we keep telling each other about supremacy and all these things that hold us back. But we're fighting to get to what? The same supremacy ideologies, materialistic stuff, to empower ourselves and say we got to do it because other than that, there ain't nothing left. But how do you know there's nothing left when you ain't never went past the wall? When you ain't looked on the other side? When you didn't do your research? When you didn't go find out because you pretty much don't want to know who's the rulers, who's benefiting from it? Why does this dark side exist? Remember I told you, it's a painting right there, but it's so much about the painting that you can see. Have you ever been to an art gallery and you ever seen a person stand there and they can tell you about so much in-depthness about the painting? Because if you look at it, it's so much going on in the painting. That's why an artist is seen as a phenomenal individual with a gift, an insight. When you hear comedians, when you hear musicians, when you hear people that play saxophones, pianos, when you hear people that do poetry, when you hear a person that preaches, when you see a construction worker build a house, it's more to what they're doing than just what you see on the naked front of it. It's so much deeper than that. It's like I said to you, who really truly benefits from all this dark stuff? Who gets the empowerment at the end? And why do we see so many people that we think that are living such a good life die in such a bad way when they were used to manipulate us to believe that this is the way we're supposed to go? You haven't really tripped off of all the artists that we've seen through these decades that had these bad lifestyles and bad conditioning without any money, And nobody really cares, huh? We just move on like nothing ever happens, just still listening to the same music. It never changes because we just want to have a good time, go out and party. We want to be one of the people that fit in. We want to be in that picture. Remember with the movie, The Shining? Remember? At first, when he got to the house, he said it was weird, it was strange, something about it wasn't cool. But as he got into the house more and more, the house started getting to him. And then from him getting into the house, the things came alive. Then he wanted to destroy and kill his own people. And then from there, he did it all to what? Fit into that picture. You see what I mean? Like it's a lot of stuff that's deep in concept, but like I said to you, the rulers of dark souls, these individuals are at work right now. And like I said, we're coming up on Halloween, one of the most craziest times. You know what I mean? These individuals are really out here spiritually preying on people. And see, like I said, the manipulation through who they are, what they are, and how they do it spiritually is deep. So, you know, if you're not prayed up, if you're not strong enough, they try to mess with your sexuality, your mentality, your spirituality, and your whole vitality of yourself, who you are. They want to pretty much control you. Like the song tell you, some of these people want to be used. Some of these people are looking to use you. You know, it's really deep out here. So, you know, everybody's out here looking for something. And some of them want to use you. And like I said, when you're dealing with these people in these dark, soulless places, they dwell on a lot of stuff that we don't understand. And we got to really wake up and see how strong we really truly are. Sometimes you got to unplug yourself from the matrix to see what really the matrix truly is. But if you want to be a part of that picture, that's all you're going to be is in that picture. When that place burned down, that's pretty much where you're going to be stuck at, that picture. This place is so much more bigger than what you think it is. Believe me. Dark individuals truly exist. I didn't see them firsthand. I wouldn't lie to you. Shit, I wouldn't be surprised I didn't talk to or met or came across a damn demon or a reptilian or whatever these entities truly are, or a devil themselves. But yeah, you know, just be truly, you feel me, well-rounded and look at life from every perspective, from the outside, the inside, and around, up, down. It's so much to see, man. Don't limit yourself out here. You can be anything and everything you need to be and still be who you are. And this is the Rose Room discussion. Thank you for peeping me out. I'm going to get to the last slapper slumper. I'm going to leave you with that. Like I said, I try to link into these 3 topics. The first topic was the manipulation of hip hop, telling you how they used it to weaponize it, target us, how they've been using it to degrade us, to manipulate us, push us into these unsettling situations. How our own people have been used to sign contracts to keep us in these situations, and how we need to figure out who they are and why they're doing it and what is the purpose of this. And I talked to you about the second topic, the link to the down low lifestyle, and how it's linked to the entrapment of us into these places, to which they're depicting the same stuff that they did to us in the past, buck breaking, but in a whole new manner. And how these lifestyles and how they, you know, place all these uncleanly things upon us, from these life threatening illnesses to multiple other things that will destroy you, and how all these entertainers were caught and now are pretty much confessing to you that they all been doing it. And then to the last topic, the rulers of dark souls, and how all this stuff that you're seeing is being truly the beneficial aspect of what they have been creating and the prison that they have placed around us with it, and how they enjoy the powers and the luxury of pretty much feasting on your souls for pretty much mere nothing, because you're doing it to please them. Like you see The Walking Dead, pretty much that's where we're at. And people don't get that concept. Like I said, look at things for a deeper perspective. Walking Dead, people walking around here spiritually dead, soulless, looking for things to amplify them through energy, artists, entertainment, society, manipulation, mind control, things of this nature, to link you to certain stuff or lifestyles that don't benefit you, but benefit them. And as you can see, they control everything. So are we truly the walking dead here in a society that has no true rest spiritually, mentally, or even physically?